Thanks for joining me for another Woolly Wednesday cast. Today we're going to do some 3D wool applique flowers. So I'll do a little demo, show you 3 different ways to do your flowers 3-dimensional. But first, I just want to tell you about last week's drawing. If you were with me last week, we talked about grapes and cutting circles. And our pattern giveaway was the chickadee wall hanging you see here. So Mary Havren, she won the pattern, so I'm going to be sending that to her. I'm sure she's pretty excited. So if you want to get in on the drawing today, make sure you either say hi Nancy, or like our video, or share it, or make any comment, or if you make a purchase on the website also today, that's included. So everybody that participates in any of those formats gets their name in a drawing. And today's drawing is going to be for a kit to make our sunflower pincushion. So it's one of the 3-dimensional flowers I'm going to be showing you today. And this is available as a pattern or as a kit, so our winner is going to get the kit. The kit includes the pattern, the 6-pack bundle, just right here. This is a 6-pack bundle harvest, and that is what you need to make that pincushion. And also there is one of our harvest threads that we used to make the pincushion as well. So get in on the drawing. You have all day. Okay, I want to talk about our coupon codes. I like to do that early so I don't forget, or so you have more opportunities to catch it. So last month we were doing a discount on our overdyed texture Fat 8s bundles, and because I just haven't gotten them all on there yet, I'm just going to continue that for June. So I want to show you these because I'm going to put these on right after we're done with this. These are overdyed with our citrine yellow. Aren't they yummy? This is the citrine texture pack, and it is a bright fluorescent yellow. But here you can see the Fat 8s. Isn't that cool? The Glen Plaid, the Houndstooth, there's a herringbone, and this cool stripe. Those are all dyed in the citrine. So I'll get those on the website this afternoon so that you can get in on that and get 25% off using the code TEXT25. That only works on the textured Fat 8s. Okay, so let's get into our wool applique demonstration. We are going to talk about this pole dancing quilt. We got a glimpse of it last week. This is kind of what gave me the idea to do this, just because it was hanging around. So most of the flowers, well, I suppose probably most of the flowers on here are 3-dimensional, not stitched all the way down. Some of them are stitched down here. The pink ones and the gold ones, those are all stitched down. But these little ones, they are loose. Just kind of a flat loose. Just up here. And then these magenta ones, they are more 3-dimensional. So they're not stitched down, but they also have more dimension than just the flat flower. So I'm going to show you those. How to do that. And we have on this pincushion, this is on our Pretty Peony pillow, and this is the miniature version. In the pincushion duo pattern, you get 2 different patterns in here to make 2 different little pincushions. But this one is the kit with the pearls and everything to make the pretty peony mini pincushion. And these flowers are layered and they're just loose, so there's really no applique at all. You just layer the flowers and then just stitch them down. And because the wool has been washed and shrunk, you can cut out your shapes and you don't have to stitch them all the way down, unless they're man-handled a lot, or woman-handled, or child-handled. They're going to be fine. They're not going to ravel. They'll stay pretty for a long time. This pincushion has been around the country many times. It has been stuffed into places and taken to shows, and it's been lots of places, and it's still holding up just fine. And they're all just raw loose edges. Yeah, so it's pretty quick and easy and fun to do. So we're going to do first the purple flowers from the pole dancing pattern, and I just wanted to show you this is what the pole dancing pattern is, and you can get the pattern. You can also get the whole kit, and this whole kit has the blue batik background, it has the navy blue batik border, and this is such a pretty blue, turquoise, and green batik binding. So that's all included in the kit, as well as the wool to make your own pole dancing with all those pretty birds. Okay, I'm going to clear some of this stuff out of my way. Now, for all the stuff we're going to talk about today, the patterns I'm featuring and the kits, for the whole month of June, they will be discounted. If you use the code june3, you can get 20% off on those things all month, okay? But for today, our today only 25% off code, to get 25% off site-wide, everything on our site, is 3D25. Okay, so I don't know where everybody is. It's a nice day out. Maybe they're just going to watch us later recorded. But that's okay, we'll just keep going. We don't need them. Just you and me. Okay, so 3D25 is the code to get 25% off all day. We're just going to pretend like everybody's here and go on about our business. Alright, so I'm going to angle the camera down. Oh, Mary's here. Hi, Mary. See? Oh, and Mary Haverin's here. Congratulations, Mary. I don't know if you were here when I announced that you won the chickadee pattern, so I'll be sending that to you. Okay, so if you are lurking back there, you're not saying anything, I don't know you're watching, and you can't get in the drawing unless you comment or like or share or something. Okay, just heads up on that. Alright, so I'm going to tip the camera down so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. You're welcome, Mary. Thanks for watching. And Helen, hi! There's a little typo there, no big deal. Okay, so I can kind of still see comments. Hi, Lori. Alright, so this is our pole dancing pattern. And inside the pattern, try to make it easy for you to trace out your applique shapes. So I've lately been putting them all in full color. Instead of just a line drawing, it's easier to trace this onto your freezer paper. So where is our, here, this is the little shape that we're going to cut out to make, get this back up here. I'll just kind of stick it here on the corner. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay, to make this 3D flower, this is our funny shape. So first thing I did was I traced it onto freezer paper, shiny side down, trace my shape, and then And I'm just going to go over these basic steps in case you haven't been watching every week and you're just learning how, and it doesn't hurt to hear it again. So the shiny side of the freezer paper, when ironed down to the wool, sticks, and you can cut out your shape. And you can see I trace around the edge, not right on, or when I cut out my paper, not right on the paper's line, so that when I iron the paper onto the wool, I can cut through the paper. It's just easier to cut it out. So then I have my little shape like this, right? All ready to go. And when I peel off my freezer paper, this is what I have. So there's my little flower shape. And I get out my thread here. So then on the directions, let's open this up. Goodness. Okay, so it shows us here on the directions that we're going to take a running or gathering stitch all along this edge, and we're going to start here. There's a knot there, so that's where we're going to start with our knot. So I've got a knot in my thread, and we're just going to start on this end where our knot will be. Let's see. And we're just going to take some big stitches. And I'm using a little bit of a longer needle than my normal chenille needle. And can you see we're just kind of running that gathering stitch there. I don't know if it will focus on it. So I'll just keep going. Taking some big stitches, about 1/8 of an inch or so from the edge, not too far from the edge. Maybe I should have had one pre-done, would have gone a little quicker. Alright, so all the way up there, now I can't even remember how far I should go. Yep, just to there. So I just ran my stitches all the way along this edge, just right up to here, and then we're just going to gather it. And as you gather it, get down to the end where our knot is. As you gather it, it just curls up on itself. There. It makes a little flower. I'm just going to stick a little pin in there for now. So you can see how it makes a little flower. Isn't that cool? Oh, Mary, thank you. Yes, I think the birds would make great Christmas decorations. Yeah, and it's so easy. Don't know if you saw here. Last week I showed my little chickadee. All I did was make 2 of them. 2 flat chickadees, and instead of appliquing them down onto a background, I just sewed them together and stuffed them. And there you could make an ornament. Okay, alright. So back to my flower. So there we have our cute little 3-dimensional flower. And if you're going to put it on then you can just stitch it down to your background, just like you would any applique. But I'm just going to put it on this little circle so I can show you. I'm just going to take 1 stitch down, and I'm going to go about right in where I started, where that knot was from our running stitch. I chose a thread color that didn't really match because I wanted you to be able to see it. But okay, so I went down to the bottom. Now I'm just going to come up from the bottom underneath, and I'm just going to kind of tack it down. So all you have to do is just go around the edges. The light is so bright in here I can't really see. But if you could stitch around the edge here and stitch this down to your background. And it doesn't have to be heavily stitched, just some tacking stitches is fine. And then I've cut out a circle for the middle. Now on this quilt I used yellow, but here I cut out a little pink circle. Everybody knows how to cut out circles now. So then my little circle covers up all that gathering and those edges, and then you can just applique down your little circle for the center of your flower. And then here, see if we can see it close up. It doesn't always focus good. I used some French knots. So I just filled it with some French knots, but you could also put beads in there. Okay, so that's pretty simple, isn't it? And it's just another fun way to add a little extra dimension to your wool applique project. So I will finish this flower later. We'll set that aside. Yeah, and I'm going to show you how to do this one. So this is similar but different. Instead of cutting out that weird shape, all we need are circles. So this pattern tells you what size circles to cut, and I am doing it just a little bit larger. I thought I would try it just a little bit bigger and see what happens. So you could, if you have something, a circle the right size to trace, like we talked about last week, a coffee mug or a little saucer or a big can of beans, I don't know, whatever, you can trace around a circle, or you can make a circle template onto the freezer paper and then iron that freezer paper down to your wool and cut it out that way. But the way the directions tell you to cut out your circle, fold your circle in half and then in half again, and we're going to make shapes like this. I didn't bring my big, here they are. So you could lay it down with a rotary cutter and do it like that. But I'm just gonna, I folded it in half like this, and I can cut it like that. Fold this in half again, and we're gonna get 4/4 of our circle, and these are gonna make our petals. So to save wool, it's instead of, sometimes you don't have a big enough piece. If you want to do it with scraps, if you don't have a big enough piece to cut out, this is a 4-inch circle, so that's a pretty big piece. I made one of those circles on freezer paper and cut the freezer paper into my little quarter wedges, and so then I could iron those onto smaller pieces of wool and use some scraps. Okay, so I have my 8 little wedges here, and I need some thread with a knot on the end, and we are going to do our basting all along this long curved edge, because then it gets gathered up and makes our petal like that. These are going to get all stitched together in one row. It's just a little bit easier than doing it one at a time. I thought it was. You could do it however you want. But if you just do this basting, there's gathering, I guess. It's kind of a basting stitch. Just gather them on the longer needle. Here we go. This is kind of tedious. You can see now, you can see how there's just gathered on there, and when you pull it, it just kind of gathers it up and can make a little flower petal. Now there's a smaller circle that we have that is going to be the base, and you can't see it in this pin cushion. It's underneath there. But then these pieces all get stitched down to that base. You could do them one at a time, or if you want to do them all together, after I've got that one on, need one without paper on it, we'll just go to the next one and gather it onto our same thread. I was getting this ready this morning and I thought, oh, this big flower would make a really cool golf head cover. I know that's kind of weird, and I have to figure out how to do that. Grab some knit fabric or something to make my cover and then stick my flower on top. Thought that would be unique. Nobody else is going to have one of those. Then they'll all probably want one. Alright, so see, I can just attach that on and gather it up and just keep going. Oops, wrong circle. And then they all just get stitched down. If you wanted to do them one at a time, because there's 8 petals, I think if you marked it off into 8s, and you would know how much space you needed for each petal. Because if you start stitching one down and you give it too much space, you won't have room for all of them. I'm going to put this down here, because it needs to be gathered up pretty tightly. You see, that's only 2 and we need 8. So we need to gather them really tightly. Although I just kind of guessed on this flower, on this circle size, because I enlarged my flower. I wasn't really sure. Maybe I can't get 8 on there, but I'm going to try. And then I will just stitch those down to my base circle right along the edge there till I have them all done. And this is the center of my sunflower that will go in the middle of all those petals. And I might decide that that's too big. I don't know, I'll have to see. I'll have to get all those done. Okay, I think we'll add one more on there. Again, I just don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I just take these little gather stitches, a running stitch, and then it just gathers it all together. Hi, Susan! Nice of you to join us today. Alright, so we got those all gathered together. So there's 3. Susan, we're making 3-dimensional flowers. Don't know how long you've been watching. Don't know if I can get 8 on there. I might get 7. We'll see. There, and then I will just, when I get it all done, then I can use that same thread to stitch them down. All right, so you can kind of see what I've got going on. Hi, Kim. I don't think it's going to take us forever to do this whole thing, but I think it's going to be really cute with my brown center for my sunflower. It's just a little brighter sunflower than I did before, and this is just yellow, my color yellow. It's this color, and I could also use my citrine. I stepped away, sorry if you couldn't hear me. Oh, it isn't yellow, it is my citrine, so it's super bright. The citrine is a little bit brighter than the yellow. Okay, so I'm going to keep working on that, and I will post a picture of it later. Hi, sorry I lost you guys for a second there. Hi, Signe, it's nice to see you. Well, I can't see you. It's Nice of you to stop by, though. Okay, so that's about all we have today. But to show you my the discount codes to remind you to do that, to use those codes. I don't know where I put them now. Move everything out of the way. Okay. So our giveaway today is the kit to make the sunflower pincushion. So if you are watching and you didn't make a comment, or you didn't like or share or wave or anything, I don't know, but if you did, you get in on the drawing to win that kit. And if you want to use the coupon code today, 3D25, you get 25% off site-wide, off anything on the website. And all the things we talked about today, the Sunflower Love pincushion, our pole dancing pattern and kit, everything we featured is 20% off all month if you use the code June3. But shop today and you can get 25% off. So thanks for coming, and if you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments. Or if you have any suggestions for something you'd like me to demonstrate, I'd love to hear it. So thanks for stopping by, and I will see everybody next week. Bye.